Yesterday, as we prepared ourselves for meditation, we started with Matthew chapter 22, verse 15, but we didn't finish the passage because the Spirit stopped us before we got to the end. So today we're going to start there again. We do that because we cannot be sure that the Spirit spoke everything to us or completed the work the word or phrase was supposed to do for us, in one day. So we start where we started before, and if the Spirit stops us there again, we stop there again, and we meditate on that same word or phrase again today. However, if we get to that part and have a sense that we are done with it, then we continue on until something else jumps out at us. So pause the video and pray that God will speak to you through His Word and that the Spirit will enable you to listen to what God is saying. Let's read Matthew chapter 22, beginning at verse 15. Then the Pharisees went out and laid plans to trap him in his words. They sent their disciples to him along with the Herodians. "Teacher," they said, "we know that you are a man of integrity and that you teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. You aren't swayed by others because you pay no attention to who they are. Tell us then, what is your opinion? Is it right to pay the imperial tax to Caesar or not?" But Jesus, knowing their evil intent, said, "You hypocrites, why are you trying to trap me? Show me the coin used for paying the tax." They brought him a denarius, and he asked them, "Whose image is this, and whose inscription?" "Caesar's," they replied. Then he said to them, "So give back to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's." When they heard this, they were amazed, so they left him and went away. That same day, the Sadducees, who say there is no resurrection, came to him with a question. "Teacher," they said, "Moses told us that if a man dies without having children, his brother must marry the widow and raise up offspring for him. Now there were 7 brothers among us. The first one married and died, and since he had no children, he left his wife to his brother. The same thing happened to the second and third brother, right on down to the 7th. Finally, the woman died. Now then, at the resurrection, whose wife will she be of the 7, since all of them were married to her?" Jesus replied, "You are in error because you do not know the Scriptures or the power of God. At the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in heaven. But about the resurrection of the dead, have you not read what God said to you? I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is not the God of the dead, but of the living." He's not the God of the dead, but of the living. As we were reading, that phrase just seemed to stand out to us somehow. So we're going to stop and spend some time repeating it, mulling it over. It's possible we might just spend several minutes merely repeating it. But it is also possible that as we're repeating, the Spirit will guide our thoughts into something more personal pertaining to what this phrase says. We might find ourselves confronted with a reflective question. The important thing is that at first, that we're quiet and we're pushing away any thoughts that might be our own. We repeat this phrase because we're not trying to guide what comes in our minds, but to hear what the Spirit might be trying to bring into our minds. We're giving the Spirit room to speak to us. So pause the video and spend a few minutes meditating on this phrase. So just like yesterday, it's possible that nothing happened. Again, I encourage you to keep trying. Perhaps in your own devotions, you're reading somewhere else in the Bible. Try this exercise when you're studying and reading. Or maybe you just spent time repeating the words. It may have seemed like nothing is happening, but there are long-term benefits to such meditation, and you won't see the results anytime soon. But you have put God's Word in your heart and your mind, and it will have an impact. Or maybe you had a tangible experience with God where you know that the Spirit was really guiding your reflections into things God wanted to say to you personally. So close your meditation time with prayer.